Russia's promising to support Afghanistan after Western forces withdraw from the troubled region in 3 years. President Medvedev's pledge came at talks with Hamid Karzai in Moscow. The leaders also promised to clamp down on the vast flow of Afghan drugs from which Russia suffers the most. Anisa Nawi has the details of the high-level meeting.
On the first official visit of an Afghan leader to Moscow in 2 decades, Russia promises to lend a hand after Western forces leave the war-torn country.
Russia would like to see Afghanistan as an independent and prosperous state, with an effective government that's able to provide the development of Afghanistan for decades to come.
U.S.-led coalition forces have been in the country since 2001 and are planning to withdraw combat forces in 3 years, leaving Afghanistan on its own. Russia has been watching U.S. operations very closely from afar, while providing necessary transit routes for supplies and plan to continue support once the pullout is complete.
There is both the ability in Russia and the need for Russia and Afghanistan to engage with one another, not only in a manner of Russia helping Afghanistan rebuild itself and redevelop its institutional capacity, but also by way of trade, by way of investment, by way of interaction between our businesses, which is very strong.
The 2 countries signed a trade and business cooperation deal. Over the past few years, Russian-Afghan trade turnover has increased more than 4-fold and is now $500 million US.
President Karzai mentioned that his country is developing economic relationship with the United States, but that the relationship with Russia is developing at a larger scale. Again, we should come back to history. More than 140 enterprises were built by the Soviet Union.
Medvedev and Karzai agreed to prioritize the fight against narcotics, since Russia bears the brunt of Afghanistan's vast drugs production industry.
Russia hoped that international forces could crush extremism in Afghanistan, and Russian officials hoped that maybe they could be able to stop the influx of drugs coming into Russia. But now we see that Americans and their European allies, let's say it clearly, have failed in fighting extremism in Afghanistan. So now, of course, Russian officials have to deal the problem talking directly to the leaders of Afghanistan.
With the 2 main threats coming out of Afghanistan, drugs and terrorism, no one feels that hit closer to home more than Russia, who's pledging to help develop support for the war-torn country without ever having a Russian soldier step foot on Afghan soil. Anisa Nawi, RT, Moscow.